Are you willing to believe? Abraham chose to believe. Not only when God called him to go to a land which he never knew, he trusted God and he went. But then later on, almost 24 years later, when he was 99, God met him and his wife. They were living in Canaan. And God said that next year by this time you're going to have your child. And it was then, he did not consider, even when he was about to be 100 years old, he didn't look at his own situation nor Sarah's situation, but he, against hope, in other words, when there was no possibility for any hope, Abraham believed God, that God was able to even bring life to the dead, that God could do whatever He has promised He could do, immaterial of what odds are against God's promise. The Bible says he was thoroughly convinced that what God had promised, He is able to perform, immaterial of his age, his physical health, his situation. Nothing would ever stop God from doing what God had wanted to do, and that is faith. And I want to tell you, always such kind of a faith drives a man to action. When Abraham believed God, he went out of his land to go into Canaan. God gave Canaan as his inheritance. When Abraham believed God, that God would give him a child according to His promise, Abraham and Sarah came together and God gave them Isaac, which means laughter, joy, celebration. And you see, he received what was appointed for him. Every story, every person in the Bible who ever received from God always believed what God had promised, acted on what God has promised. You know, faith without action is dead, because real faith always produces action. James chapter 1, it says that when a man believes God and asks for something, he should ask without wavering, without doubting. For he who doubts is like a wave of the sea driven and tossed by the wind. For let not that man, verse 7, suppose that he would receive anything from the Lord. Verse 8, he is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. So my dear friend, I'm encouraging you. Are you willing to believe? God is ready to do what He has said He would do in your life. But are you willing to believe?